Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoy my video today, please subscribe. And if you click on the bell next to the subscribe button, you will be notified each time I post a new video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I created these 5 cards. This first card has got an open front. These are the papers I've chosen, and those Christmas trees are going to be cut out. This is an assortment of range papers, Kaisercraft, SEI. I've cut my card so that it is a 6x4 card, and on the front I have cut at 1.5 inches from the bottom and then 2.5 inches from the new edge, leaving a short card at the front. Now I'm going to cut my red paper 3 3/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches, and another piece that's 3 3/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. I'm going to ink the edges and adhere them to the card. The only thing that joins these 2 front pieces of the card is the actual Christmas tree decoration, so there you can see through the front of the card. I then cut the green card 3.5 inches by 2 inches and another piece 3.5 inches by 1 inch. Again, I inked the edges and then attached them to the front of the card, matting on top of the red cardstock but applying with foam tape. Then I attached the Christmas trees to the bottom of the card and then lined the bottom of the card up with the back of the card and attached the tops to the top of the card so that the trees are connecting the top and the bottom. I then cut a piece of my computer printed Christmas greetings so that it would fit on the card and inked the edges and then attached it to a mat of the red cardstock and attached that to the top of the card using some foam tape. And that completes this card. This is card number 2. I used a 6x4 inch white card base, this die that I've cut from white cardstock, and a piece of craft cardstock that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. I emboss that with the Cuttlebug Music Notes embossing folder. I ink around the edges and then wipe lightly over the design with my black ink pad to bring the pattern out a bit. I then attach that craft cardstock to my card base using normal tape. And then using glue, I attach the die cut Christmas bauble decoration. In this applicator I have clear drying acid-free glue, and the fine point on it makes it very easy to get the glue into the fine areas of this bauble design. I then cut a greeting from my computer generated greetings, ink the edges and foam mount that on my card. To finish this card off, I applied some glossy accents to the greeting and some stickles to the baubles just to sparkle them up a bit. This card is created on a 5.5 inch square card base. These are the supplies that I'll be using. I'm going to use a Sizzix die to cut the greeting, some pattern paper from various brands. My first piece of pattern paper is going to be cut at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Then the green is going to be cut at 4.5 by 5 1/4. Then I punch both of the longer ends of the paper. This is going to sit on top of the red. Now I'm cutting another piece of red paper that is 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and now a piece of another different pattern paper, 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. I tried different greetings but went with the cutting of the dies. When I actually cut them, I decided that they didn't stand out enough, so I cut a piece of white cardstock 3 1/2 by 2 inches and used that as a mat, stuck my greeting to the mat, and then used the tag to embellish the card. This next card is a 6 by 4 card in landscape orientation. I'm using an assortment of pattern papers, not sticking with any particular brand. The green cardstock, or both cardstocks, are cut to 2 1/2 inches by 5 3/4, and I've fussy cut a Christmas tree from an old paper range. I've stuck the two pieces of pattern paper together so that they measure 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 in total. Then I've used some ribbon to tie a bow around the two papers situated on the join. I've then used some double-sided tape on the back to hold the ribbon in place. Next I attached that panel to my card base. I cut a piece of white cardstock 1 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and I treated the edges of this with distressing and inking like I did all the other papers. I attached that to the card base using foam tape. I used foam tape to attach my fussy cut Christmas card. This paper range is so old I can't remember what brand it is. And then I cut a piece of pattern paper to mount my computer printed greeting on, distressed the edges of both and attached them using clear drying glue in my fine line applicator. This is my last card for this video. I created this card square, 5 1/4 inches, a bit smaller than the previous ones I'd been making because I found some envelopes that this size would fit in, whereas the 5 1/2 inch ones don't. I'm using vellum with this, and it's a gloss, or what would you say, a metallic sheen vellum on one side and red on the other. I'm using the metallic side up. I've cut the squares to 2 1/4 inches, and I am positioning them on the card with an even border all around the outside edge. The gold embellishments I'm using came off of a card that I actually received a few Christmases ago, I suppose. I've cut the embellishments off of the card and I'm mounting them with foam tape onto this card, so I'm upcycling. I was going to leave it like this, but I thought it was too bare, so I got this die out, and it cuts a frame and also the piece that goes behind it. So I've cut the filling with the vellum and I've cut the frame with the gold cardstock, and I'm attaching that to the card with the clear drying glue in the fine line applicator. The computer generated Christmas greeting is mounted on some vellum, and I have put double-sided tape on the two outside pieces and then a piece of foam tape in the middle so that it doesn't sink down in the middle when I stick it onto my card. Here are some still photos of the cards I've created today. If you have any questions about the creation of these cards, don't hesitate to leave a question in the comments for me, and I will answer them for you. I hope you enjoyed my video today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see my new videos as they become available. I would love it if you would share my videos with your friends. I love reading your comments too, so please don't forget to leave one for me.